Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for popping on this live with me. I really wanted to dig into something that has been coming up with the women that I'm working with on a pretty consistent basis. And that topic is perfectionism. So, we're going to talk today about how we get rid of perfectionism. Let's beat it for good so that we can enter our next level. For those of you all who don't know me, I'm Rashida Hatchett. I am a executive leadership strategist. I spark female leaders to create more joy and abundance in their lives through self leadership, self care, and the power of self awareness. So let's dig in, y'all. I don't want to hold you long, but one of the things that pops up for women that I work with very often is this idea of perfectionism, needing to get things perfect, needing for things to be just right, just so, or else they're not able to move forward with it. They're working on projects too long. They're taking up too much of their bandwidth, that emotional bandwidth that it takes to go into a project, to give your heart and soul to it, really, and then to then release it and say, okay, we've done our job and we're good with it. And one of the things that really holds them is this idea of it needing to be perfect. Before I can launch it, before I can release it, it needs to be perfect. Some of you all might already know that a lot of the women that I work with are dualpreneurs. So they usually have a thriving career and they're starting a budding business, or their business is already kind of off the ground a bit, but they're looking for a little bit of push, a little edge, a little guidance so that they can keep going. And one of the things that we talk about often is getting rid of perfection, removing the idea that things are going to be perfect. We operate in excellence, and that's what keeps us going, is knowing that we're operating in excellence. We're giving these things that we do, these projects we take on, we're giving them our best. And when you make the decision to drop perfection, to say, listen, this doesn't serve me any longer. This is a habit that I have that stems from this idea that I control or can control the outcome of everything. And what I'm doing instead of holding on to that control and creating this idea of perfectionism is I am releasing this, because I'm saying, you know what? I operate in excellence. This thing is as good as it's going to get at this point. This is the maximum amount of energy that I'm going to expend on this thing, and then I'm going to move forward. Because here's the thing, what I hope and desire for all of the women that I work with is that they begin to see what happens when you surrender that control, what happens when you let go of it having to be perfect, you having to be the one that does it, because if you don't do it, it won't be perfect. If your hands aren't all the way in it, then it won't be perfect. Is what I try to up level them into thinking about is what it looks like to be in a place of freedom from the things, from the day to day kind of minutia of it, from the holding on to the idea that you somehow control how things are going to happen. And the more you tweak, the more you do, the more you add, the more you subtract, the more you touch it, it's going to get better. Right. And that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes we start touching things too much, and we're moving out of this being good enough to now we're just playing around with it, and we're not actually adding value, because what we're really doing is we're holding on to our fear around letting that thing out. So when I'm talking to women who have a budding business, they've got this thriving career, they're killing it over here, they know all the things, they know all the stuff, but when it comes to their business, they're a little more shy. They're a little bit more reserved, right? And so what I talk to them about is really understanding that that project, that thing, that passion, that something that you want to do, that book you want to write, whatever it is for you, whatever that looks like, that consulting agency, whatever that looks like, right? You're in this new space of learning, and you're going to have to unlearn the idea of perfectionism. You've got to get rid of it if you want to move forward. If you're desiring to have this business that really sets your soul on fire, if you're desiring to do this thing that has been calling you, that you have been waiting to do, that thing that you know that's going to be your legacy, what you're going to leave in this world when you're done, you have got to drop perfection. You've got to put perfection down and say, you know what? I'm not doing it. So, one of the things that I say is perfectionism is the biggest killer of your momentum, your motivation, and your money. Okay? Perfectionism is the biggest killer of your momentum, your motivation, and your money. If you are sitting in perfection, if you are deciding that it must be perfect before you put it out, it needs another something. You need to take another class. You need to do another thing. You need to get another degree. If you are deciding that it's got to be perfect, you are holding back your next level. Okay. And so here's what I mean. Quickly, I want to talk about this. Before I do that, though, I want to invite you all. I want to invite you to come in to spaces with me. So this is what I'm doing. I am hosting a luxury retreat for executive female leaders. This retreat is going to be epic. And what I want to invite you to is our information call. On June 16th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I am going to be giving away all the juicy details. I'm going to tell you everything that's going to be happening in this retreat. But this retreat is going to be a luxury experience that's going to help to unpack some of these things that we deal with as executive leaders, and it's going to give you the opportunity to rest, recharge, and rejuvenate. Okay. So join me on that call. The link is going to be in the comments. You're going to go to rashidahatchettmedia.com/audacious woman retreat info call. Okay. Go there, register for the call, and you are going to pop in, see us on the 16th, and we're going to talk about all things retreat, and we're going to get rested, recharged, and ready to go. Okay. So I want to invite you all to do that. For those of you all who are just joining me, we are talking about getting rid of perfection so that we can enter our next level. So just a moment ago, I was talking to you about how we decide that we want to get rid of that perfection so that we can get to the next level. And I told you all that one of the things that is really paramount in that is understanding that perfectionism is the killer of your momentum, your motivation, and your money. It is one of the biggest killers of those things. And here's what I mean. If you don't start the thing, if you don't take the step, if you don't make that audacious action that I talk about, if y'all been listening to me for a while, you know I dig into audacious action. I'm telling you, you have to take the steps. You've got to do the thing. You do it scared, you do it afraid, but you have to do it. If you don't, you'll never create any momentum. One of the things that we desire as humans is we desire to see progress, right? And that's what momentum is it's progress. We put that thing out there and we start to see a bit of progress. We start to see what's happening. People are liking parts of it. They're really digging into some pieces of that book. They want to hear more of what you have to say. They're ready to hire you to consult for them. You get one yes, right? That's that momentum. That momentum then motivates you to keep going. When we see a win, we get motivated to keep winning. That's the way we're designed. It's the way that we're made up. And when you make a decision to drop perfection and pick up momentum, you put yourself in a position to win, to see your wins, to know your wins are coming, to be able to calculate those wins, and then to be able to monetize those wins. Right? That's where the money comes from. If you have decided that I am going to create some momentum, it's time. I'm releasing the thing. No, it's not 100% exactly the way that I want it, but I operate in excellence and I develop this in excellence and I'm releasing this in excellence. And therefore, I will see the results that I want. And I'll tweak it as I go along, right? You got to leave room room for the tweak. You have to leave room for the idea that it can get better. The people who are going to buy it, the people who are going to hear it, the people who are going to want it, they're going to tell you what they love about it, and they're going to tell you what they wish it had. And then you're going to make it better. But you've got to let that thing out first so that you can begin to get that kind of feedback. And then you make it better. If you're holding on to it, hoarding it all to yourself, you've got it in here and it's just all for you, you're never going to get the feedback you need to make it better, to make it the perfect solution for the people that you're called to serve. So you got to drop the perfection, pick up momentum. That's going to lead to motivation, and then that will lead to the money, right? You can't skip steps. It's got to go in that order. You got to drop perfection, pick up momentum, start to see some wins, get motivated to keep winning. And as you keep winning, you get to count the dollars. You get to count what's happening, right? When I began to deliver my first speeches, they weren't perfect, but I had to move. It was burning deep down on the inside of me that this is what I am called to do, and it wouldn't stop. I had to keep going. And as I did, and I went from speaking for free to speaking for a little bit, now I command thousands when I speak. When I enter rooms, I command thousands of dollars. Right? What I do, I have now created this opportunity for excellence in what I do. I make little tweaks so that it resonates the way that I want it to. Right? But I had to start. And so I tell you the same thing. Drop perfection, pick up momentum, turn that momentum into motivation, and turn that motivation into money. Don't be worried about who is going to buy the thing, who's going to do the thing, who's going to want to hear. It doesn't matter. Understand this. You are the solution to somebody's problem. Your gift, your talent, your ability, that thing, that purpose that's bubbling up inside of you, you are the difference in someone's life. You telling your story, you walking in your purpose, you opening up who you are to give them what you know. That's going to be the game changer in how you move forward. But you've got to start. So, again, you all, let's get rid of perfection. We operate in excellence. Let's keep moving in that regard. And I want y'all to know, once again, I'm inviting you to come to the information call. I'm going to be talking about everything regarding the Audacious Woman Retreat. And if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that that is what I have been talking about. I am so excited about it. And let me tell you, I have so many goodies for you. This retreat is going to be part masterclass and part self-care. So know that you're coming and you are going to get the full deal. It is luxury all the way, and I want you all to enjoy your time with me. But first, come to the information call. You are going to register for that call on my website at RashidaHatchettMedia.com/Audacious Woman Retreat info call. That's /Audacious Woman Retreat info call. Go in, register, meet me June 16th, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be ready for you all. I hope you are ready for me. Until next time, be audacious.